right-hand cloud. In the story of Elijah and his companion, what you end up seeing is a man going out and looking and seeing a cloud appear like a fist. And this is a prophetic foreshadow of the end times. And looking into the prophecy first, let's look into the story. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 42 and 43 says, So Ahab went up to eat and to drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel, and he casted himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees, and said to his servant, Go up now, look toward the sea. And he went up and looked and said, There is nothing. And he said, Go again 7 times. So we see 2 men, and King Ahab and Elijah putting his face between his knees as a man is seeing a cloud form like a man's fist. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 44. And it came to pass at the 7th time that he said, Behold, there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea like a man's hand. And he said, Go up, say unto Ahab, Prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. So we see here that 2 saw the cloud over the sea, shaped like a man's hand. And this is a prophecy, foreshadow of 2 men, a King Ahab type, which is the Antichrist, and a cloud being seen in the shape of a man's hand forming. And this is the prophecy of the end times. Revelation chapter 11, verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. Now, what we see here is a King Ahab type going to kill 2 prophets. And this is a prophetic foreshadow of the testimony of 2 prophets of the end times that fulfills the law. In Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15 says, One witness shall not rise up against any man for any iniquity, or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth. Out of the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. So we see the Antichrist beast in the likeness of King Ahab persecuting 2 prophets. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. And this is the cloud that the prophets saw and prophesied, which was a foreshadow of what was to come. A cloud forming in the likeness of a man's hand. John also saw this in what he believes to be an angel coming down out of heaven with great power that fills the earth with his brightness and his brilliance. But this is a missile coming down over Israel at Jerusalem, and it explodes with great power, filling the sky with bright light like the glory of God. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1 says, And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And this mushroom cloud looks like a man's hand. And Elijah, foreshadow of putting his face down into his knees to hide his face, is what is instructed to people to do in a nuclear blast to prevent their eyes from being blinded. This is an instruction. The prophet hid his face between his knees. And it is at this point that Jerusalem falls. Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And we know that a big mushroom cloud like that, rising up, filling the earth with a bright light, that it'll only take 1 hour for that Babylon to fall. It won't take long. It'll just take one large mass explosion, and Babylon will fall. and the Jews and the merchants who were made rich by her will begin weeping. Revelation chapter 18, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of the temple of Jerusalem, in which they are made rich by. Revelation 18, verse 12 through 14. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manners of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. For the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all in thee. And these are the Jewish merchants. When the smoke of that cloud, that mushroom cloud, goes up in the form of a man's fist, they will weep and mourn. Revelation 18, 15, and 16. And the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. These merchant Jews will stand afar off for the fear of her torment, because it means that people are going to come after them. And the merchant ships of the Jews and the Mediterranean Sea ships that are in the trade routes will look upon the sea horizon, and they will see that hand cloud being formed in the distance. Revelation 18, verse 17 and 18. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like unto this great city? They will see the smoke of her burning rising up from the mushroom cloud over the sea horizon, just like the companion of Elijah saw the cloud rising up out of the sea in the shape of a man's hand. And the people that are there in Mystery Babylon are told to leave, to come out of her. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not her plagues. And everyone exoduses out into the wilderness in their sackcloth, and they're dipped in the salt water of the Dead Sea. Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. It is here where the people are baptized, and their feet are washed and cleansed off from any fallout dust in the salt water on their way to Petra, to hide in the rocks from the fallout. Moses asked the Lord to see his glory, and the Lord told him to hide in the rocks. And when that angel's glory is revealed, it will be required that people put their face in their knees like Elijah and hide themselves in the rock, just as the two prophets had testified, Elijah and Moses, that they put their faces in the feet of their knees and they hide themselves in the rocks. Exodus chapter 33, verse 18 through 23. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy. And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the Lord said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cleft of the rock, and I will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away my hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. The glory of the Lord that will be seen will be the brilliance of the radiation and the illumination of a blast. Revelation 18:1. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. The Lord hides his people in the clefts of the rock, so they don't die from the angel's glory that is revealed in the prophecy. Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she has a place prepared of by God. And this place is prepared that they should feed her there 1,260 days, in the clefts of the rock, hidden from the plagues, inside the rocks at Petra. And what occurs when Jerusalem is sacked and surrounded? They launch the missiles, the tactical nuclear missiles from the submarines upon the nations for turning upon Jerusalem. As the 10 kings have surrounded Jerusalem and sacked Jerusalem with the beast, they launch tactical nuclear missiles across the earth. And this is the first trumpet. Revelation chapter 8, verse 6 and 7. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees was burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. This is global nuclear missiles being launched. And the earth is caked with mushroom clouds. The people of God have been hidden inside the cleft of the rocks at Petra. And they know what is given to them by the prophet Elijah, to hide their faces in their knees, to hide their eyes from the blast, so nuclear blindness does not occur when they see the flash of the light. Revelation chapter 11 verse 18 talks about them destroying the earth with their nuclear radiation. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and at the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest giveth reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyed the earth. And they have destroyed the earth by their own means, by their wickedness and desire to war. And this is all a prophetic foreshadow of what was shared before out of the mouth of 2 prophets, of Elijah and Moses, and the things that they did, testifying with Elijah and his companion as they looked upon the sea and saw the cloud rising up like a fist of a man coming out of the sea. As Elijah hid his face in his knees, he did not see the cloud. And just like King Ahab persecuting the prophets, the Antichrist persecuting the 2 prophets sent to prophesy these things. And this is the prophecy of the hand cloud.